Hi moms, how are you? This is day 3 of how to be an intentional mompreneur. I'm so excited to be here Sunday evening. I hope you all have had the most amazing weekend. Let me know in the bottom here, what did you do this weekend? We had such an incredible weekend. I made a post about literally how my gratitude meter is like overflowing, which is amazing. We hosted a Friendsgiving for a group of our friends, and so we had a bunch of people at our home. We had delicious food, a lot of laughter, and we had an awesome photo shoot today with our kids and Halloween shopping. So it was a great weekend. And now we're just getting ready to just settle down for the evening. Our little one's having a bath, so my husband's giving her a bath, and I'm on here doing day 3 for this training for you guys. So I would love to know, because this is day 3, so we're going to talk about consistency. The first day, we talked about intentionality. And then the second day, we talked about accountability. And now we're going to talk about consistency. What do you feel consistency is to you? What do you believe consistency is in business or even in your family life? What is consistent for you? I will dive deeper into, consistency for myself and what has, created success and just different fun things. I have another training that I can't wait to come out, but I can't tell you what it is just yet. So consistency has to do with showing up each and every day. Now, consistency, it shouldn't be hard, okay? It shouldn't be hard, especially if you're doing something that you absolutely love. Now, sometimes it takes a while to step out of fear. We can be either in a space of fear or a space of faith, and we can either trust or not trust. And now, what I mean by that is, say for example, you have an online business, and this requires you to go live. And you're scared to go live. Well, this is a perfect example of something that you need to walk through and move through and honor your feelings, but work through them. Because a lot of the time, fear is placed there for a good reason. It usually is a sign that this is something that you should be doing. Sorry, I just need to take some water. So a sign that it's something that you should be doing. Now, consistency also means, and other people would refer it to as regularity, stability, equilibrium, steadiness. I like to say that, consistency is not just showing up because you feel you have to, but because you want to, but also even on the days where you kind of don't want to, where you're still consistent and you still show up, because successful businesses don't become successful without being consistent. They don't become successful without getting themselves out there and being a part and showing their business. It's true. And so this was actually something that I found, and I wrote this down because I found this so fitting to this training this evening in regards to consistency. And people say someone who is consistent always behaves in the same way, has the same attitudes towards people or things, or achieves the same level of success in something. So my interpretation of this is that no matter what you set your mind to when you're being consistent, you will be successful in your consistency. Now, what I think from this as well is that with consistency comes success. With consistency, you step out of fear and you move into faith and you move through all these different things and you level up in your life. And I believe that being consistent, being accountable, and being intentional in your business are 3 keys to being extremely successful in your business, but also being absolutely authentic in who you are. And so this training is probably going to be about 15 minutes, and I'm going to share 4 tips that I have used for myself to stay consistent. And I talked about this a little bit before in regards to accountability and also in regards to intentionality. The same You guys, the same thing goes for consistency. My first tip for you, this has to do with your mindset. This is what I do. This is what I coach. I coach in your mindset. So you actually do need to make a conscious effort of remaining consistent. When you aren't used to being consistent, when this is something that you haven't stepped into, this is something that you will need to be mindful every day. Now, if that requires you to write down on a piece of paper and stick it to your mirror in your bathroom, or you have a calendar and you have to write it in the calendar, like, hey, I got to post at some time today. I need to go live sometime today. I need to follow up sometime today. I'm going to spend some time with my family. Like, whatever that is in there that you want to remain consistent with, write it down and be accountable for it. The only person who can be accountable for you being consistent, you showing up, is you. At the end of the day, it's you. I can tell you the hows and how it gets easier, but at the end of the day, you need to put in the work. And so, like I said, in intentionality, intention requires you to set a goal, to have a plan, and to follow through with that plan. Now, you see how these all intertwine so beautifully together. This is amazing and this is the thing, guys, when you go into your business and you're intentional. I knew that I wanted to talk about intentionality and accountability. And then I was talking with my coach and I was like, no, there needs to be like 3 big things. And I said, consistency. And then today, as I was like, doing research, because I do that kind of sort of thing, I came across the information in regards to consistency, how it lines up with accountability and intentionality, how you need to have a goal, you need to have a plan, you need to prioritize. You basically, like, regularity, steadiness, stability, whatever people call that in regards to balancing business and babies. Everything is flowing so nicely together and fits together because it's meant to fit together. And so this just makes me so extremely happy that I was able to bring all this content to you, because this is also something that I have been really passionate about. And if you follow me on my Facebook page too, I committed to going live 365 days a year because I'm being intentional and I'm setting a goal and I'm busting through my own insecurities of going live and speaking in public, talking to new people. I am moving through those things. Instead of sitting in fear, I'm moving into faith. I'm showing up because I want to show up, because I'm a woman of integrity. And that's what I'm teaching you guys to do, because you can do that. You can move through it. Now, that tip number 2, which I kind of just rolled right through there, was to have a plan and to have a goal. So you know your objective, you know your priorities, you know what you need to place on. Basically, you know if you need to put a couple things on the back burner, but what you need to place right in front of you, what that goal is. And you need to figure out how you're going to get there. And the best way to know how you're going to get there is by writing that stuff out. I've said this before. I used to be this person who did not believe in journaling until I, took the big, deep steps of self-development and hiring a coach and doing all these things. I started journaling, and through this journaling, I was able to go through and, write out my goals, write out my priorities, write out my values and boundaries and all these things that intertwine with it. But what was my intention? I needed to know an intention. People needed to know when they came onto my page or came into this community, they needed to know what it was for, what it was about, and what the intent was. And so that's intentionality. Then being accountable. If I tell you amazing moms on here that I'm going to show up at 6 p.m., I'm going to be here at 6 p.m. And even yesterday I was talking about being accountable, where sometimes life is life. And sometimes things come up, and this is natural, but we're human. And so if we have to reschedule things, that's okay. But it's the whole thing of not having to do it every single time you plan something, if that makes sense. You probably can hear my dogs in the background. I just want to see. It's not showing me anything, but I see that 2 people are on here. So, hello, and I really appreciate you being here. For some reason, my phone does this every once in a while, where it says, like, it'll show me who comes on here, and then it doesn't show me who comes on here. So, we're going to continue. We're going to roll with it. So now, tip number 3 that I have for you when you're moving through all these things and you're being consistent and you're putting this, on the table, and this is a no holds bar, this is what it is, tip number 3 is that your feelings and your thoughts are temporary. So when you're feeling worried, this is something you can move through. Even when you're happy, when you're sad, we've all experienced these emotions. So we all know that feelings and thoughts are temporary and they can be changed. Now, this also goes towards how things can be changed in regards to how you're showing up in your business. If you're not showing up, if you're not building like, know, and trust, if you're not being intentional, you don't know what your goals are, how is anybody else supposed to also know? How are you supposed to get clear on where you want to go? How are you supposed to get clear in whichever you believe in? Whether you believe in God, the universe, Buddha, whatever it is that you believe in, you need to set that goal. You need to be consistent. Like, you need to show up for you. I'm really hoping this makes sense. Stacy. Hi. Hi, Mom. I love that I could see those. Oh my goodness. Okay. So now my final tip for you is do one thing at a time. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't write down what all your big goals are. But if you're wanting to crush a goal, put that one first. If that is the biggest thing on your priority, and that is, let's say, for example, that is growing your business, whether that be your income, your following, the content in or the people that you serve, whatever that may be, figuring out what that is and doing one thing at a time. That does not mean that you can't accomplish every single goal that you have written down. This just means that you're going to do one thing at a time. Whoa, my phone just did something really weird. So do one thing at a time. I promise you, you'll still get them done. This is what I'm the kind of person who sometimes gets all scattered and I want to do all the things all the time. And it's not that you can't do all the different things and have them kind of like simultaneously rolling. But when you're just starting, it's so important that you also honor yourself, honor your time, and do one thing at a time. And I even have to teach my kids to do this. I have to remind my kids to do one thing at a time. And even if I ask them, hey, go get dressed, go brush your teeth, go do the dishes, go eat, they get overwhelmed by that. They need to do things one thing at a time. And that's okay. And it reminds me every single time that I need to do the same thing. That I get overwhelmed and I get, stressed out when I try to pile on a million things on my plate, because I would love to think that I'm Superwoman, but I'm also me. And I know the signs of myself of when I'm going to reach those. And so the more that you dive into these things, the more you'll get to know yourself, and the more you'll know when you need to pull back a little bit or push through a little bit more. It's your mindset. It is such a game changer when you start believing. I talked about this yesterday in the simplest ability of a belief. And even last night, I'm going to touch on this. Last night, when we had our friends over, we were talking about Christmas. And, if there's anybody on here who doesn't believe, that's okay. But I'm letting you know we're going to be talking about Christmas and all that stuff. And so we do Elf on the Shelf with my kids. And my stepson's going to be getting to that age where kids are going to start talking about how they don't believe and that it's not real. And so I was talking to a friend of mine. She's like, what are you going to do? And I said, maybe he will be open to just continually believing. I said, people used to tell me all the time that I didn't believe that Santa wasn't real. And okay, so Santa's not real, but that does not mean that I can't believe in something that is unseen, or this Christmas cheer, or the happiness that surrounds the holidays, or the fact that my family comes together and it was just this warm feeling. I want to teach him that he can still believe in those things, and there's still things to believe in. And people will be like, oh, I don't believe in Santa. I did. I sure did. And I believed in it because it was something that you can't see. And it's just like people who have different beliefs. Those beliefs, you can't see them. You can't touch them. So I think it's important that you honor that. I think it's important, just like how when you write down a goal, that goal might not, maybe you can't physically see it right in front of you, but you sure can get there. Like, life is a journey which is meant to be enjoyed. And so by me saying do one thing at a time, this is so you don't overwhelm yourself, and so you actually enjoy your day and enjoy your time with your kids, because everybody is so focused on like 20 years from now that they're going to have $1 million. What about now, when your kids want to spend time with you now? What about all these different traditions that you do now that you're missing because you're sitting on a phone not understanding like that other people want your attention? So I'm going to recap here. So there was the four ways for how to stay consistent. At least what I believe helps me stay consistent. And the first one is your mindset and making that conscious decision of being accountable and saying, I am going to be consistent every day. And you can still honor and have yourself and like you time. If you want to take a day to unplug, take a day to unplug. I'm just saying that remaining consistent when people know you're going to be there is important. And that also helps build like, know, and trust. Now, point number 2, which we've gone over a few times, is have a plan, a goal, and know your objective. And then number 3 is that feelings and thoughts are temporary and they can all change, and you have the ability to change them. And number 4 is do one thing at a time. And so I hope that this training has been powerful for you. I hope that you've been able to write down different points that you're going to implement, that you're going to move through. And I'd love for you to post in the comments what that would be for you. And so I'm going to recap a little bit. So the first day was intentionality, and we talked about intention, goal setting, calendars, writing things down, making sure you know what that goal is, what that aim is, what needs to be prioritized in order for you to be intentional. And then day 2, we talked about accountability. So accountability and consistency and intentionality all kind of flow through. But accountability to me is showing up when you say you're going to show up and being a woman of integrity. And then consistency is also showing up on the days that you promise to show up, but also pushing yourself through the fear or the days that you don't always want to do it. That's being consistent, because we're human. Some days we just want to chill in front of the television and watch Netflix all day. I know I sure do. Some days we don't want to be on our electronics at all. And if we run an online business, this is a part of having an online business. And the biggest thing that I can also tell you too is that if you are going live and you're doing those things, I know that even if I don't feel just like hyped about it, I have a little dance party and then I get myself hyped, or I get on the phone and I talk to my mom, or I talk to a friend, and I just get myself in a better headspace. And so then I know that every time I come off of doing those videos, I feel incredible. And so I hope that this training was great for you. I loved doing it. And now, because I can't say every single time, but right now, because the last time I did a training, I had something that was coming out. And this time, as you all know, I launched my one-on-one coaching, and I have consultation spots that are open too. And so currently I have opened 4 spots for 4 amazing women that would love to have a consultation with me. Now, I can send you all the details if this is something that you're interested in, but please message me and I can tell you the cost. I can tell you we can figure out a time and we can hop on and see if working together is what is going to feel aligned for you. And then I'm only opening up 4 consultations and 4 coaching spots, because that's what I believe I can, serve at this moment in time with everything that I have, because I want to be there for you. I want to help you grow. I want to help you shift your mindset. I want you to feel balance between your business and babies. I want you to have a thriving business. I want you to feel the love that you should have for yourself. I want you to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and know that you are completely and 100% supported and loved and cherished, and that you are exactly the way you're supposed to be. And there is so much that we go through. I want you to know what your boundaries are and your values, and realizing certain things that are happening in your life because of your mindset and because of manifestation and all these incredible things that this universe offers to you. And so this coaching is, it's an intimate setting, it's one-on-one, and it's just me and you through Zoom, through live videos, and we really dive into a lot of different things that will open up space and launch you into success. And so if this sounds like you and this sounds like something that you would love to do, then I would love for you to send me a DM and we can chat a little bit about it and set up a time, and this would be amazing. So I have only told you guys how many spots I have opened. My coaching has been launched, but I've only told you guys so far, and I will be opening that up, I would say probably Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to be opening that up to the public on my personal page and through my Instagram profile as well. And so make sure that if you want to grab those spots, that you grab them quickly. So I hope everybody has the most amazing rest of their evening on Sunday. I am going to now go and relax. Actually, I need to do my daily live on my Facebook. So I'm going to go over there and do my daily live. And then we're going to have some supper. So have the most beautiful evening, everyone. And I will chat with you guys tomorrow. Bye.